On the economics, he was ridiculously over-optimistic. But on the politics of it, and I'm joined by Darren McCaffrey, back from Manchester. It's a great train service, isn't it?
No.
No?
Well, it's a great train service. You can get a seat. The problem was that the train was very, very busy. And as always, these things, they should put on more carriages, knowing that lots of people will be travelling between London and Manchester today. Really interesting on the politics, though.
But I'm going to say, actually, I think the economic optimism is ridiculous and hopelessly out of touch with where we are. But on the politics of it, and I know the imagery is not very good, you know, with welfare cuts today and Michael Gove dancing and Therese Coffey doing the karaoke, and those optics are strange. But I kind of get the celebration because politically, he's actually got every reason to be optimistic about the position of the Conservatives, hasn't he?
I mean, you look at every single opinion poll almost this year, even during the most difficult times of this pandemic, even when, frankly, all of us knew that the government were making mistakes, and the government subsequently have admitted themselves that they made mistakes. You know, that level of public support was still maintained there. And there is also a sense, I think, particularly, that there's a loyalty almost to Boris Johnson as a politician, aside from the Conservative Party, which means that the party actually has had this unassailable lead for quite a long time. And one of the other reasons is because of the politics, and the politics was set out very clearly today, and it is, I think, where we saw it in 2019, which is kind of hoovering up lots of those kind of disaffected former Labour voters who've turned to the Conservative Party, where economically you're actually somewhat slightly on the left, talking about, you know, tax increases to fund the National Health Service, a service that many, many people rely on and care about, while at the same time actually being on the right when it comes to cultural issues.
Oh, and law and order.
And law and order.
I mean, not that he'll deliver any of it, but on law and order, he sounded very Conservative today, didn't
Indeed, and so trying to combining those two together, essentially, he's got the centre ground covered. He has got, you know, his tanks and Labour's lawn to a large degree, and he's maintaining the base of support for the Conservative Party that is needed. And that actually has proven thus far to be a winning formula. It's kind of really spelled out today. And I think we've got a clip, actually, of the juxtaposition between both of these. Let's have a watch.
We have one of the most imbalanced societies and lopsided economies of all the richer countries. It's not just that there's a gap between London and the South East and the rest of the country. There are aching gaps within the regions themselves. What monkey glands are they applying in Ribble Valley? What royal jelly are they eating that they live 7 years longer than the people of Blackpool, only 33 miles away? Why does half of York's population boast a degree and only a quarter of Doncaster's? That is not just a question of social justice. It is an appalling waste of potential, and it is holding this country back. Levelling up works for the whole country, and it is the right and responsible policy because it helps to take the pressure off parts of the overheating South East while simultaneously offering hope and opportunity to those areas that have felt left behind. But as time has gone by, it's become clear to me that this isn't just a joke. They really do want to rewrite our national story, starting with Hereward the Woke. We really are at risk of a kind of know-nothing cancel culture iconoclasm. And so we Conservatives will defend our history and cultural inheritance.
So there you go, Boris Johnson touching on that. Now, you've talked about it. You know, it was a good speech. He's very good at doing them. It was undeniably funny, much shorter than Keir Starmer's speach last week, went on for a very long period of time. And, you know, we have remarked today there's no policy in it at all.
There was one
announcement about
for teachers incentives to move.
I think a £3,000 bursary to move to kind of more deprived schools in maths and science, I think. But aside from that, nothing. And, you know, as you guys have been talking about, you and Liam, about kind of slightly detached from what may be happening in the real world. But then we come from a position of what to expect these conference speeches to be. And often also a conference speech is just a bit of red meat and a bit of kind of triumph and boosterism for the membership and indeed for people who might be Conservatives around the country. And on that measurement, he certainly did deliver. And as I say, he wasn't short of jokes either. I think we'll have a watch.
We finally sent that corduroy communist cosmonaut into orbit where he belongs. I say they're a confounded nuisance who are blocking ambulances, stopping people going about their daily lives. And I'm glad And I'm glad Pretty is taking new powers to insulate them snugly in prison where they belong. So we sent top government representatives to our sweatiest boîte de nuit to show that anyone could dance perfectly safely. And wasn't he brilliant, my friends? Let's hear it. Let's hear it for John Bon Jovi.
I think it's fair to say
that was quite funny.
It was very funny, and the dancing was certainly funny. And Michael Gove does seem to be enjoying his newly refound single life to a large degree in nightclubs up and down the country.
Yeah.
I mean, he's levelling up in one way, isn't he? From Aberdeen to Manchester. So I think at the end of two big party conferences, the first time we've had party conferences, obviously since the end of the pandemic. In the end, I think Boris Johnson will probably be the chirpier of the two leaders, I think. In saying that, Keir Starmer, I think this was a really important conference in that he managed to change some really important rules within the Labour Party. He kind of saw off the last pangs of pain from the Corbyn left. But at the same time, you just still get this impression that if Boris Johnson was to lose the next election, it would be very much because the government have lost it, rather than because the opposition have won it.
I agree. Well, Darren, I want to say it's been a great 2 weeks, busy 2 weeks for you and the team. And I felt the fledgling GBNews began to fly in the last couple of weeks. Great outside broadcasts. No technical difficulties.
Indeed.
Compared to Facebook, it went down for 6 hours the other day. So, listen, well done you, and I think you really put the station on the map at those party conferences in a very, very remarkable way. Well done.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.